Tonight, since it's, oh, by the way, Happy New Year. And you have chosen the best place to be on New Year. Happy New Year. There's no drinking here. There's not going to be any fights. You're safe. Okay? Now, as a public service announcement, tomorrow is the full moon, but it is also a super moon. So I read, you know what I'm talking about, online, that super moon driving is very treacherous. So tonight when you're driving home, be careful. And tomorrow also, the report said, especially anybody drive a motorcycle here? They said that statistically, they've studied this, that on these super moons, motorcycles especially, the accidents spike. So, a word to the wise, I don't want anything to happen to you. So tonight, tomorrow, drive safe. All right, now we get back to business. So, there's this wonderful book called Upadeshamrita. Upadesh means instruction, message. Amrit, nectar, deathless, eternal nectar. Just like the pujari before, he gave me this cup of sweet rice. This is also nectar. So in this book is written by Rupa Goswami. His picture is there under. You see the picture of the 6 Goswamis. So the leader of the 6 Goswamis was Rupa Goswami. He was instructed by Lord Chaitanya to write books because Lord Chaitanya himself only wrote those 8 Shikshastakam verses. But he instructed Rupa Goswami to take all the teachings that he had learned and put them into book form. So Rupa Goswami has written great books. The Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vidagdha Madhava, Lalita Madhava, and other books. But this Upadeshamrita, you can say, is the beginning book. You start with that. So verse number 7 is my favorite. There's only, I think, 11 or so verses. But verse number 7 is my favorite. And since it's New Year's Eve, why not give you the best? All right. It's a long Sanskrit verse. Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sitapya Vidya Pito Patapta Rasanasya Na Rochikanu Kint Vadarad Anudinang Kalusaiva Jushta Svadvi Kramad Bhavatitad Gadamula Hantri. In Prabhupada's books, when he translates a Sanskrit verse, he gives the synonyms for each and every Sanskrit word. This is how you can learn this philosophy very nicely. By reading and studying, little by little, you learn. I did not study Sanskrit. Neither is it necessary. By chanting, let's say, verses of the Bhagavad Gita on a regular basis, little by little you will learn. And by looking at the synonyms, little by little you start to pick up. So first we have Sat Krishna Nama Charitadi. Again, going back to something I established, the absolute idea of spiritual knowledge, that the sound and the object are the same. So here it says that anything having to do with Krishna, beginning with, first it says Nam, his name. Everything begins with Krishna's name. So it says his name, his fame, his pastimes, his character, his qualities. All these things about Krishna are transcendental, spiritual. In the Bhagavad Gita, the word divyam is used. Divya means divine, spiritual, transcendental. So Krishna's name is spiritual. Krishna's activities are spiritual. They're not mundane. If you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 90 chapters, you get a glimpse into Krishna's activities from his so-called birth up into his so-called death. Keyword, so-called. Because it's a drama. It's a play. So the Krishna Leela is a drama. So many activities. Krishna appeared as a little baby, and it looked like he was growing up. And then Krishna got married. I think he only married 16,108 wives. That was all. Very renounced. And then the final episode was the Battle of Kurukshetra, which was set up so that Arjuna would become bewildered and surrender to Krishna, and Krishna would speak Bhagavad Gita. That Bhagavad Gita was spoken for us. That whole setup was made so that we, in this present age of Kali, would have Bhagavad Gita as our guiding light. So Krishna's activities, Krishna's words. So when we read Bhagavad Gita, you are hearing directly from God. Even though it was spoken 5,000 years ago, if you read Bhagavad Gita today, you are directly hearing from Krishna. That's why, I don't know about you, I read Bhagavad Gita every day. Because I want to be associated with Krishna by sound. And Krishna says at the very end of Bhagavad Gita, anyone who studies Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, you are worshiping me by means of your intelligence. Because to read and study Bhagavad Gita, you have to use your intelligence. It's not like some novel. You just... No. It's something you study and think about. So Krishna says, you study Bhagavad Gita, you are worshiping me. So Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, paraphernalia, entourage, all transcendental. Now, the next word, Sita, not Sita. That's, you know who Sita is, right? Sita Ram, right? This is a different word, Sita. Now, what is Sita? Candy. Interesting. Rupa Goswami is saying Krishna's name, fame, form, pastimes, entourage, words, anything having to do with Krishna is just like candy. Transcendental. In other words, you don't rot your teeth. It's transcendental. It is sweet. Madhurang madhurebhyopi. Anything having to do with Krishna is sweet. Now, Rupa Goswami now points out something, a problem. Oh, a problem, yes, there's a problem. Avidya, Pitta, Upatapta. There is a disease. People from India won't know, but it's common. The disease of jaundice. The jaundice disease means the liver is defective. And depending on the severity, it'll have devastating effects. Somebody with a severe case of jaundice, their skin turns yellow because of the defective liver. So, here's the thing. The cure for jaundice, especially in India, for thousands of years, has been sugarcane juice. Who has had sugarcane juice? Isn't it great? Yes. I've traveled the world. I've had sugarcane juice in Panama. Yes. In Panama, I have had sugar. Of course, in India, I have had sugarcane juice. I've had that sugarcane juice, and they had a little ginger and lemon, huh? You know what I'm talking about. Take away your candy bars. Nah. Give me that sugarcane juice. Ooh. So nice. Especially if it's a little warm. Right? Yeah, I'm getting, oh, come on. Where can I get some right now? So, for thousands of years in India, when someone had jaundice, they would take this sugarcane juice. But there's a problem. When you have jaundice, the last thing you want to eat is sugarcane juice. Why? Because of the liver, you don't taste the sweetness. It tastes like, you can't take it. Why? Because you have the disease of jaundice. If I was to give this little girl here some sugarcane juice, she wouldn't leave me alone. She'd want more and more and more and more. That's like my grandson. For the first 5 years, my grandson, he lived with me. For the first 5 years. That kid doesn't have a sweet tooth. He has a sweet mouth. And we would try to hide candy and stuff. The kid would figure out where. We'd put it behind the refrigerator. The kid would find it out. So he must have had a good liver. So, for the person with jaundice, the cure is the sugarcane juice. But for the person with jaundice, the sugarcane juice is, you can't take, no. Ugh. So there's your problem. The only way to get cured is to take the sugarcane juice. But you don't want to take the sugarcane juice. Therefore, you have to do it by force because you have to accept, I want to get cured. This medicine is nasty. Ah! But you know, if I take it, I'll get cured. So in the very beginning, that first time you take it, but because you took the sugarcane juice, you're starting to get cured. And the next time you take it, it's a little less bitter. And you keep taking it, you're getting cured. And the more you take it, it becomes less bitter. And when you're cured, give me that sugarcane juice. Wow, because you're cured. I never got jaundice, but when I first joined the temple in Brooklyn in 1973, I got a boil right here. A boil. So I didn't know what a boil was, and the devotee said, oh, you have to take this tea, golden seal tea. I looked at it. It was brown, looked like it came from the toilet. It was like, and that tasted like, oh, that was nasty. But my godbrother said, take this, because the boil was huge. And they were saying, you got to do this or you're going to die. Die! No. So I took that golden seal tea. But it cured me. It cured me. So I have some idea what Rupa Goswami is talking about. That the medicine is more likely something very nasty, but you, by force, you take the medicine. In the same way, Rupa Goswami is saying, Krishna's name, fame, form, pastimes, entourage are sweet. But our problem is we have a different type of jaundice known as ignorance. That ignorance is, I am accustomed to material sense gratification. And when it comes time for chanting or reading Bhagavad Gita, I don't have a taste. It's like, oh, Bhagavad Gita, really? Chanting Hari, oh man. Look, how many people there are on Laguna Beach? How many came here? Where are they now? New Year's Eve, what do you think they're doing? Right? Let's go to somebody's house where they're having a party. Hey, come to the temple. We got something really sweet. Get the hell out of here. Right? Because they are afflicted with the jaundice of ignorance. They think material sense gratification is the sweetness. But that is explained in Bhagavad Gita. That sweetness known as sense gratification, chapala sukha, very flickering. Whatever material pleasure there is, it doesn't last. It comes and goes. Chapala sukha, flickering. A few moments, and then it goes. Person gets addicted to smoking. All right, 1 cigarette. But that doesn't satisfy. Now 2. And you have to have it more and more and more. Tonight, they will drink and drink and drink and drink, and then tomorrow morning, everybody will, what a headache. But they were thinking tonight, party, yeah. But tomorrow morning, yes. Material sense gratification is like that, temporary. But spiritual sugar, not like that. In the beginning, because we have this disease of ignorance, it's bitter. So in the same way, you force yourself to do it. You force yourself. That's the role of the spiritual master. The spiritual master says, okay, now I give the instructions. Every day you chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra on your beads. Every day you worship the deity. Every day you study the Vedic scriptures. In the beginning, it will not be very pleasurable. It'll be an austerity. Just like another example. Nowadays, it is very common, popular. People want to join the gym and get physically fit. Now, if they have not done it for many, many, many years, it's no fun. Right? It's hard work. Like now, if I tried to do a sit-up, it would take me half an hour. Because I'm out of shape. Right? So, as we say in America, no pain, no gain. So, this is an axiom of life. In the beginning, it's difficult. But by intelligence, you tell yourself, no, I need to do this. I have to do this. I will do this. Even though I don't like it, I'm going to do it. Now, what happens? In the same way, the sugar candy and the jaundice, in the same way, by forcing myself to chant, to read, to worship, what's happening? The disease of ignorance is being destroyed. As it says here, Tat Gada Mula Hantri. So, day by day, the word is actually used, Anudinam, day by day. Day by day, if I chant and read Bhagavad Gita, gradually I become cured. And the disease is destroyed at the root. If you go to a doctor, say you have a very serious health condition, you don't want to just deal with the symptoms. That's called masking. You want the doctor to find out what would be the root remedy. I'll give you an example. Very recent. 3 weeks ago, I got a bee sting. And somehow or other, the bee sting turned into a big infection. And I was just saying to my wife, it's nothing. She said, no. You go to the doctor. I don't like the way it looks. So then I went to the doctor. He says, a good thing your wife told you. Because if you had waited any longer, you probably would have wound up in the hospital. I said, from a bee sting? He said, yeah, bees are very, very dirty. So he gave me shots. I had to take 2 shots. Boom, boom. Gave me antibiotics, which made my stomach just go in knots. But the idea was to get to the root of the problem. After 12 days, now I'm good as new. But the idea was, don't just deal with the symptoms, go to the root of the problem. So the root of all our problems is rejecting Krishna, rejecting, surrendering to Krishna. That's why at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, Sarvadharman parityaja, mamekam sharanam vraja, ahang twang sarva papebhyo, mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Krishna said to Arjuna, for your benefit, not for my benefit, Arjuna, for your benefit, your ultimate best interest is surrender to me. Give up all other kinds of interests and philosophies and religions and whatever else. You just exclusively take shelter of me. Here I have this lady here. She has her hand in her bead bag. She is taking shelter of Krishna. And because she's taking shelter of Krishna, she's destroying ignorance at its root. So many times people say, Prabhuji, how long do I have to chant? Simple. When you get to that stage, when you chant, and it's like candy. And the thing is, how do you know that the disease of ignorance is destroyed at the root? Same way, when the person is cured of jaundice, he wants to have candy now. He loves it. In the same way, when you're actually cured of the material disease, you can't stop chanting. You want to chant always. Just like Prabhupada was even asked by the great Beatle, John Lennon, John Lennon asked Prabhupada, how do I know who is the real guru? Who is the real guru? Prabhupada said, very easy. Find that person who is most addicted to Krishna. Now, when Prabhupada said that, that's very clever. Because at that time, John Lennon was addicted to two things. His wife, Yoko, and heroin. So Prabhupada used that word, addicted. You become addicted to Krishna. When you're addicted to Krishna, you are saved. So how long should you chant? Till you get to that stage when you don't want to stop chanting. Just like if there's no air in the room, I need air. Right? You need air. You want nice air. Here, Laguna Beach, we have nice air. Not like, it's hate to say it, Delhi's air, right? I saw the pictures. I don't want to be there. Here you got nice ocean air, very healthy. So, when you come to the stage, chanting, if you're not chanting, you feel, what's wrong? I'm suffocating. I need to chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody chant one time for me.